it's racist, the military?
I definitely do not think the military is racist. It's probably one of the least racist institutions in America, if not the world. It is truly a place where your skin color, your gender, your background can be set aside and meritocracy takes hold. And you move up based on your own skill sets, based on your own judgment, based on your own leadership qualities. And we see that time and time again proven in a place like the military. And what is inclusive about the military? Well, the fact that we all have the same standards, the fact that we wear the same uniforms, the fact that we sing the same songs, right? So there's a cultural identity that takes place in the military, which is actually really hard to emulate anywhere else, but it happens in the military. That's what we should be talking about when we say the military is inclusive.
You know what's funny is I've seen some racism when I was in the Army. You know, there's certain individuals that were racist, you know what I mean? But you know what's also funny is there's a certain politician whose son, he was in the Naval Reserve. And he got kicked out for pissing hot off cocaine. And when we're talking about racism, he's been in hot water lately for racism. And yet the mainstream media, they haven't been putting any sort of attention on his blatant racism.
Fuck you looking at, nigga? I'm still trying to find out, nigga!
No amendment to the Constitution is absolute. No amendment to the Constitution is absolute. 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 Absolute.
Put y'all back in chains. Back in chains. Back in chains.
My state was a slave state. Slave state. Slave state.
This makes Jim Crow look like Jim Eagle.
Just quickly put a button.
Okay.
Do you have any plans to visit the border?
At some point, you know, we are going to the border. We've been to the border. So this whole thing about the border, we've been to the border. We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
I've said I'm going to go to the border. And
when are you going to the border, Vice President?
The administration has asked. I'm not finished. I've said I'm going to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe. And I don't understand the point that you're making. I'm not discounting the importance of the border.
Well, I mentioned it because I know Republicans have certainly come at you on this, but Democratic Congressman Cuellar has a border district has said to you and the president, come. You need to see this.
Listen, I care about what's happening at the border.
Excuse me for not knowing about El Salvador, like I'm ever going to Spain anyway.
As vice president, you were given two tasks. Two tasks. Protect voting rights and then handle the border crisis. What have you done so far?
Questions, if that's what I'm supposed to do, Nance, whatever you want me to do.
Am I up? No, we don't want him to talk.
And now for more current events, here's Joe Rogan, who is not a Republican, is, I believe, a libertarian. He actually wanted to vote for Bernie. Wasn't a Trump fan. And yeah, y'all know Joe Rogan from UFC. He's also a comedian and so forth. But again, back to current events.
Well, did you read the Fauci emails?
Yes.
The Freedom of Information emails? That's really crazy because first of all, he's admitting in these emails that masks don't work.
Was he?
Yes. Yeah, he talked about it. Talked about it openly.
Right now, people should not be walking. There's no reason to be walking around with a mask. When you're in the middle of an outbreak, wearing a mask might make people feel a little bit better, and it might even block a droplet. But it's not providing the perfect protection that people think that it is. And often there are unintended consequences. People keep fiddling with the mask and they keep touching their face.
And can you get some schmutz sort of staying inside there?
Of course.
Wait, I didn't know that part. I thought you were going to talk about the...
well, that too. But here's the thing. But part of the email was, look, part of the mask conversation with Fauci has always been that at the beginning of the pandemic, he said masks didn't work.
Right now, people should not be walking. There's no reason to be walking around with a mask.
But then he said the reason he said that is because there wasn't enough masks for first responders and hospital staff, and he wanted to make sure that the supply wasn't diminished. So he said that he didn't tell the truth.
But when you think masks, you should think of healthcare providers needing them and people who are ill.
Right? Okay. But in these emails, these are private emails. He's saying masks don't work.
For real?
Yes. He's saying they're not effective for what you, outside of a hospital setting, that these masks, like for personal use, the kind of cloth masks and paper masks that everybody's wearing, they're not effective. They can't, exactly what did he say? Let's pull it up so we get exactly what he said. But that's not even the big part. The big part is he's talking about gain-of-function research in the Wuhan lab, and he's concerned about it. And thinking whether or not they had paused that and whether they're still doing that. And he's trying to connect the gain-of-function research in the Wuhan lab with this COVID breakout and whether or not that's where it came from.
Right.
And
why is that a big deal?
Because they funded it. The NIH funded these people who funded the gain-of-function research in the Wuhan lab, which means they're responsible for funding the very research that led to this outbreak, if that's where it came from.
Right.
So all this time when he's been saying it came from nature, there's no way it came from a lab. Well, that's shifted, right? Now everybody's saying it came from a lab.
Right.
Right.
But then not
because
confirmed
the evidence.
Yet. Right.
But the evidence is pointing as it's most likely that it came from a lab. But this whole time Fauci's been saying it didn't, but you see in his emails that he was concerned.
Well, concerned, but isn't that like just trying to figure out what the information is?
Not really.
Because he doesn't definitively know either, right?
There's a lot of indications, according to the email, that he's talking to another scientist.
Right.
The scientist points out the variables or the components of the virus that seem to indicate that it possibly came from a lab. But publicly, he's been out and out dismissing that because he's connected to that research. Because he's connected to the very research they were doing there. It's really complicated shit. It's confusing. Because Rand Paul's been grilling him. Have you seen those things? Here you go. Typical mask you buy in a drugstore is not really effective in keeping out the virus, which is small enough to pass through the material. It might, however, provide some slight benefit in keeping out gross droplets if someone coughs or sneezes on you. I do not recommend that you wear a mask.
To you, Marigay, the editor at the New York Times. Now we know how you feel about the flag. I'm going to give you a little fucking lesson today, Toots. Let me tell you something. I fly my flag proudly on my truck every day. Sometimes giant ones, sometimes small ones, all the time. Every day, not just the 4th of July or Veterans Day, but every day, because I'm proud every day, even when I'm having a tough time. I could fix it here. This is America. I fly my flag and proud, and I let the veterans know in the military that I appreciate their sacrifice so I could say and paint whatever the fuck I want. Like this. I'm going to introduce you to a few people here, Toots. Take a gander. See these people? These brave men and women throughout our history, they fought and died for those stars and stripes. That flag is for you, so you could say that dumbass, stupid, dividing, racist bullshit that comes out of your mouth. Toots, you don't fucking know me. I ain't no white supremacist. Yeah, there might be a handful of racist assholes out there, but the 99.9 of us aren't.
Man, look, I got a message to the black community. Y'all motherfuckers need to stop getting on this app saying you don't like white people. Because I'm going to explain something to you. It be your own people that will put you in the dirt. Real shit. It don't get no realer than that. It be your own people that will fight you and steal from you and hurt you, belittle you, say you ain't shit. Be your own people. And that goes with any race. But I'm mainly talking to black people. It be motherfuckers that look like me that will put you in the dirt. Your own people don't want to see you make it. But see, y'all ain't ready for that topic. Y'all want to keep blaming the white man for everything. Y'all ain't ready for that conversation, man. When you ready for that conversation, come fuck with me. Don't get in your feelings, though, because I'm real and raw with that shit.
Question for everybody watching. Are you vaccinated? I'm not. My body, my choice. But you know who also isn't vaccinated? The CEO of Pfizer. Check this out right here.
Effort, you have not yet had your shot. When do you plan to get it?
Sooner I can, I will. The only sensitivity here, Meg, is that I don't want to have an example that I'm cutting the line.
As noble as that sounds, it's one needle. Really? Really?
That I am 59 years old, in good health. I'm not working in the front line. So my type is not recommended to get vaccination now. So that's...
I don't know about y'all, but I call bullshit.
We always get the question, does size matter? But I think the question we should be asking is, how wet is she? So, here today, we're gonna solve for X, which is WAP. Stands for wet as pussy. The formula for WAP is size times motion times average time per fuck. Now, in order to solve for WAP, my dick is 4 inches. So 4 inches times 3 pumps per second times, let's say, for 10 minutes. We'll go for 10 minutes. That's 4 times 180 pumps per minute for 10 minutes. I'm giving her 7,200 inches of dick. Now, if we compare that with an 8-inch dick, let's say there's an 8-inch dick, and we all know big dicks are lazy. So 8 inches times 1 pump per second for 10 minutes, 8 times 60 pumps per minute for 10 minutes, that's 4,800 inches of dick. Now, if my math is right, I'm giving her 2,400 inches of more dick in 10 minutes. Now, why am I smaller but giving her this much more dick? And that is gonna give her a bigger WAP. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of the King Churro Chronicles. My name is King Churro. Thank you for watching. And once again, happy birthday, U.S. Army. Ho!
The lesson I want you to learn is it doesn't matter what you look like. You can be tall or short, or fat or thin, or ugly, or handsome, like your father. You can be black or yellow or white. It doesn't matter. What does matter is the size of your heart and the strength of your character.
Question to everybody who remembers me back in the day when I did that one porn. Oh my God, I'm gonna come. I'm gonna come. Oh.
Do not come. Do not come.